Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to like Akim on the four corners, pushing the truth and sincerity. Peace be unto you. This video is going to go into Britain, which is one of the three kings that were subdued. And I'm not going to break down all of this verse, the 10 horns or 10 kings. I'm just going to focus on the three kings that were subdued, and we're just going to focus on one of them in this one video. So that being said, this is Daniel 7:24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. Now, this is talking about Babylon, Egypt, Assyria, America, Sodom and Gomorrah, Nineveh, all different similitudes for the captivity, our last captivity over here, the North Country, whatever you want to refer to it as. This is talking about America, the American Empire. Now, the American Empire shall subdue 3 kings. Now, the 3 kings that America had to subdue to gain the global power that it had was, well, the greatest king that it slayed up until this present day has been Britain. And that is the one we're going to focus on today. Great Britain, UK. Now, this is a map of the British Empire and its height, at its absolute height. You know, you got the 13 colonies, you got Canada, you got over here in Africa, you know, you got Egypt, Sudan, Kenya, South Africa, you got Australia, you got India, Burma, you have Iraq over here, you got the British Mandated Palestine, which is today known as Israel, our homeland. You have New Zealand. You know, so this is the height of the British Empire right here. And now notice, not just the 13 colonies, but you have a lot of other places in America. Now, this is the war that subdued one of the 3 kings. This is a article from history.com. I'm going to skip through a little bit. All right, this is the Revolutionary War. The Revolutionary War was an instruction in the American patriots in the Slovakia. The American Revolutionary War was an insurrection by American patriots in the 13 colonies to British rule, resulting in American independence. The Revolutionary War from The Revolutionary War from 1775 through 1986. Also known as as the American Revolution, arose from growing tensions between the residents of the Great Britain's 13 North American colonies and the colonial government, which represented the British Crown. Skirmishes between British troops and colonial militiamen in Lexington and Concord in April 1775 kicked off the armed conflict. In the following summer, the rebels were waging a full-scale war for their independence. France entered the American Revolution on the side of the colonists in 1778, turning what had essentially been a civil war into an international conflict. After French assisted helped the Continental Army force, the British surrendered at Yorktown, Virginia in 1781. The Americans had effectively won their independence through fighting, though fighting would not formally end until 1783. So, now this is Wikipedia over here. It says France and the American Revolutionary War. This article is about French involvement in the North American theater of the American Revolutionary War for the global war between France and Britain. See Anglo-French War. French involvement in the American Revolutionary War of 1775 through 1783 began in 1775 when France, a hotbed of Enlightenment, anti-established culture, and a rival of the British Empire, secretly shipped supplies to the Continental Army. The Continental Army is being, the little whore over here, Babylon. Established in June 1775, a treaty alliance followed in 1778, which led to French shipments of money and material to the United States. Subsequently, the Spanish Empire and the Dutch Republic also began to send assistance, leaving the British Empire with no allies, excluding the Hessians. Spain openly declared war, but the Dutch did not. France's help is considered a major, vital, and decisive contribution to the United States' victory against the British. As a cost of participation in the war, France accumulated over 1 billion livres in debt and lurched toward its own revolution. So you had France, who's got involved, and after France got involved, that was, that gave leverage to Babylon. And also, France also had its own war with America. One second. Now this is George William Frederick. A little bit on him. George III was King of Great Britain and King of Ireland from 25th October 1760 until the union of the two countries on 1 January 1801, after which he was King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland until his death in 1820. So between that time span, which he was the King of Great Britain, he was basically in office during the American Revolutionary War. this honky right here. This is reading a little bit down, and it says at the top here, it says George III is often accused of obstinately trying to keep Great Britain at war with revolutionaries in America, despite the opinions of his own ministers. In the words of the British historian George Otto Trevelyan, the king was determined never to acknowledge the independence of the Americans and to punish their contumacy by the indefinite prolongation of a war which promised to be eternal. The king wanted to keep the rebels harassed, anxious, and poor until the day, by a natural, inevitable process, discontent and disappointment were converted into penitence and remorse. However, more recent historians defend George by saying, in the context of the times, no king would willingly surrender such a large territory, and his conduct was far less ruthless than contemporary monarchs in Europe. So this is your cracker that was head of the British Empire when they was subdued. You know, in a much further lesson, I'll go a little bit more in depth. Now, disclaimer, I'm not implying that George III is the king that was subdued, or implying that it's twofold. But just mentioning him just so you can put a little reminder in your head, you know, another reason to remember this verse and the king that was subdued. And also it's good to know, you know, extra biblical history. You know, this is a important cracker over here. I'm gonna do more lessons in the far future concerning this. More so when I have Pinnacle Studio set up and everything, and I'm more situated to go more in depth, to get visuals and everything like that. But on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations and shalom.